So what we said to the guys this morning, Everett asked a question this morning in the London session, says, what's the view? And we said bullish neutral. Most of the value is pointing north side. And because it's most of the value is pointing north side, we were saying we expect a bit of upside gain today. Bit of upside gain. And it fitted in perfectly with the market above the RGL. And therefore we had this idea of building that story around the gap close sell side at the open, and then the bullish buys off the 50s, and then the reversal back off the 50s. We've just made you guys over $1,000 a contract if you followed the narrative. If you understood the narrative and followed the narrative, you've just made $1,000 from that story. That's a pretty good way to turn around and say to your other characters that's in your forums and various everything else, look, you might have been saying, look, you know, should you buy into more education? Well, for a change, the answer is yes. For a change, the answer is actually yes, because you're actually learning to be a trader, not some follower of some rubbishy system. This is not a system, guys. This is just trading. That's all it is. That's all it ever will be. It's just a system. It's just a trade. It's just the way it should be. Max had a bit of an eye on the bottom edges on the S&P in the last swing. Here it is here. So you can see that max liquidity starts to change here. We start seeing this kind of punch to the downside. We see a turn up just here. And you're thinking to yourself, if I could get a lower low after that, could I buy into max? Well, that would be the challenge, wouldn't it? If I could get the lower low after that, could I buy some S&P here? Well, if you look at the S&P, what actually did happen, we did get a lower low after that point, and we were able to buy into that downtick there. And at the same time, you can see that max fired up 4 green dots. Do you see that? Max fired up 4 green dots on that down candle. And that was my buy opportunity to start bidding. Did I have a drawdown? Absolutely. I started to bid some 68.5. It dropped all the way down to 67.5. Woo! 4 ticks, guys. Dangerous. 4 ticks, guys. Drawdown. Wow. I love 4 tick drawdowns because I can buy even more. Love them. The lower she goes, the more I like it. And we've taken a 68 all the way back up to 75. Made ourselves another $350 on size. And that is a very good max trade. How did their gold sale get on, by the way, guys? Because this was one of the easiest trades this morning, was the gold sale. Well, the point is, Mark, I suppose the pre-market narrative, I mean, there's not an awful lot of moving pieces, is there? It's not like you've got to do 100 different pieces of analysis to come up with something that you can work with on the open. And you get a very quick decision as to whether it's true or whether it's you know, basically you're looking to try and have a tested and verified hypothesis, right? That's all it is. You've got a hypothesis about what the market's going to do at the open, and then you test it to see if it turns out to be null, right? You test it to see if it turns out to be null. You test it to see if it lines up. You test it to see if it's doing what you thought it was going to be doing, and if it does, you start getting ready for the opportunity to deal. That's all you're doing. So when we look at our gold, we talked about this sell trade on gold. Did everybody get the sell on the retest? I say everybody. I don't know if anybody's trading gold. But this was the cleanest sell trade we've had this morning. Do you see why we got the sell at the top edge? You see it? Swing high, 1620. Swing low, back to the swing high, to the tick, measured move. To the tick, measured move, guys. Value divergence at the measured move. You couldn't make it up, could you? You could not make it up. Literally, I think it was 3 ticks, guys, 3 ticks between the actual measured move price and the top price on the gold price. The price dropped, the price tested. I sold it again. Price dropped, price tested, tested, break to the downside, and then guess what happened? It pulled back to the cap buyers, didn't it? So what happens when a cap buyer breaks? it becomes a pending seller. So when the price tested back up into the pending sellers, the value is still bearish and improving, give you a great chance to sell against the pending seller level just here. And obviously based upon that pending seller, now you've got a bottom edge, a pending seller. Where's your measure? Blue line to red line. Where do you think the target price is, guys? Blue line to red line. Where do you think the target price is? I wonder if it was right where the price bounced off of to buy out of the bounce. What? Seriously? Yep, seriously. Crazy, isn't it? We've just sold at 74.5. We've just bought at 65.5. We made another $900 profit on an easy pullback trade. 900 bucks, having sold at 78, and it's traded 65s. Huge profits. And that doesn't include the fact we had a buy-side RGL from the whole overnight session worth $1,400, $1,500, $1,600 profit on the buy-side RGL. Life is just so easy, guys, when you get it. It really is. It actually gets a little bit boring making so much money all the time. You start looking for new challenges, you start scalping, you start getting bored, you start getting lazy with it. But hey, it's a nice habit to have. It's a nice problem to have. Let's say that. It's a nice problem to have.